To throw that back to Sandlin, but Handley was ready for it.
They were right on it. He was going to run a jet sweep, throw back to the quarterback, and they ready to play real well. You can see right here. He was unable to get the ball off. Big sack, big play by Handley's defense.
Like Coy White leading the way on the tackle for the Handley defense. Also, Tamarian Phillips helping out. So it's going to be a 2nd and long. In fact, the line of scrimmage is all the way at the 33. First down marker at the 23. Throw over the middle. That is complete. So that'll get back to the original line of scrimmage for Anniston. Looks like Thomas on the play, but we got a flag on the play.
Yeah, I believe he's in the area of offensive holding right here.
So that's a hold. That's going to bring it even further back. That's right now the football at the 43-yard line of Anniston. Indeed, Paul, they're marking it back.
Holding on the offense.
Holding against the Bulldogs.
We play 3rd down.
So Kenneth Breeding tells us, Paul, another holding call. And it might take a car trip right now for Anniston to get to that first down marker. Right now, they're at their own 32. They have to get all the way to the Handley 23 for a first down. I'm not going to do the math on that. As the snap and the throw down the field as the pass incomplete. Cunningham, the intended receiver, very solid man-to-man coverage by Jamarcus Page playing the corner spot on the coverage. And that's going to be a long yardage situation here as it's 3rd down and another flag on the play. So we'll hear from Kenneth.
15, replay 3rd down.
A lot of penalties here lately.
Yeah, a lot of yellow hankies as Kenneth Breeding, quite the busy man as far as our referee. I think they might have called.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, replay 3rd down.
Mr. Breeding tells us it is a personal foul face mask penalty, so 15 yards. That helps Anniston out a little bit.
And they still got a long way to go.
They probably have to, well, if they were going the other way, they might have to reach my house in Lincoln to get the first down.
Not many calls on that call sheet for 3rd and what, about 26?
Maybe more than that. Here's the play action for Sandlin. He wants to throw it down the field, and it's into coverage and incomplete. Intended for Mount. No, they say it's a completed pass to Taylor. It looks like a lateral that time. As a good, solid play, actually a great play for Anniston, gets them into Handley territory beyond the original line of scrimmage. Yeah, let's see that again. A bobbled completion, actually. Look at that juggling act from Malachi Taylor, as he was able to hold on to it and then get upfield for a few yards. Nice little self-tip drill that time,
yeah, it was
Paul.
great job staying with the ball, bouncing around. He brought the ball in. Now it's 4th and, 9, man.
A lot more manageable as we have a timeout on the field with 2:35 to go. We'll take the timeout with them on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Advantage Tire and Alignment on Highway 202 in Anniston is so much more than just a new tire and rim shop. There's not enough time in this ad to tell you all the many things they can do to help keep your car in tip-top shape. Advantage Tire uses ASE certified technicians, so you know any work done is top-notch. Bottom line, if it needs repaired or replaced, they can probably do the job and save you money. And when it comes time for new or used tires and rims, Advantage Tire and Alignment prices just can't be beat. Stop in and see Bruce and the crew today. Advantage Tire and Alignment.
Anniston 7 and Handley nothing. One of the marquee matchups this week in the state of Alabama. This is Class 4A Region 4 play. As one of these teams, the winner will more than likely, in fact, at least from my vantage point, the winner will take home the region championship for Class 4A Region 4, because when you look at the remaining schedule for both of these teams, for Anniston after today. They have a week off next week, then at Talladega, and then close out this regular season with Cleburne County. And then Talladega, Cleburne County, and Munford, the remaining region games for Handley. Here's the 4th down and about 7. Snap as Sandlin wants to run it and needs the 24, and I think he's going to be about a yard shy of the 1st down. So, yeah, it was very close as far as Sandlin trying to run for the 1st down, but he's going to be a little bit shy at that Niwala on Noble 1st down, and it's going to be a turnover on downs as a good stop, aided by some penalties, but Handley's defense gets off the field.
Right, it gives them off the field and give their offense a chance to see what we can do in a 2-minute drill right here.
Well, no rhythm so far from this Handley offense as they need a playmaker to step up. Here's Kyles with an empty backfield. Looks like a man coming in motion, and Goss, and we'll have a flag thrown on the play.
Yeah, it looked like their left tackle moved.
False start on the offense. Replay 1st down.
So, yeah, a little early movement that time. Tamarian Phillips playing the left tackle spot. Also have Coy White at left guard. Reed Carden, the center. Eli Gabriel, the right guard. And Ladarius Johnson, the right tackle. So 1st and 15. There's a back in motion as it'll be Kyles keeping it, having some running room, and gets tripped up around the original line of scrimmage, or would have had a lot more. One of the better block plays, especially from the offensive line, we've seen from Handley all night tonight.
A little counter action off the jet sweep motion.
So just, well, all 3 timeouts remaining at the disposal for Larry Strain in Handley. As here's the shotgun snap, as before that we have a stoppage in play and a flag on the play.
Prior to false start on the offense. Replay 2nd down.
One word to describe this first half, Paul, for Handley, especially on offense: sloppy.
Right, a lot of penalties, a lot of negative plays, a couple overthrown passes, little drop pass, but they only down 7-0 now.
Choosing Anniston Funeral Services means you will have caring and knowledgeable staff to assist you as Anniston Funeral Services presents our 2nd quarter. Here's the rollout, and the pass is incomplete to the far side as Jamarqui Lewis, the intended receiver. And once again, outstanding pressure by the front 4 for Anniston as Roscoe Malloy on the coverage. So it's going to be another long yardage situation, 3rd down and 14. And they'll spot the ball just shy of the 22. So they're going to have to make the 35 to move the sticks. Will Handley. To my count, Paul, only 1 first down so far tonight for the Handley Tigers on offense. Here's the snap to Kyles. He's under pressure, having to step up and scramble. And still throw down the field, has a receiver as that floats up there. And is it intercepted? No, it's incomplete, however, as it stayed up there for Jalen Cunningham to knock it away.
That ball kind of hung in the air on him. He had the receiver open on a post route. Safety came back, almost intercepted the ball.
Yeah, look, the intended receiver, number 11, Devontae Higgins, was there. If the ball didn't have as much air, probably would have been a Handley first down. Instead, it'll be Cannon Kyles staying out to punt. And so you'll have the duo of Dobbins and Cunningham deep to receive. As there's the high punt. Pretty solid punt. That'll land at the 45, but gets an Anniston roll and will come to a stop at the 45 of Anniston. So the clock officially at 95 seconds, 1:35 left in the opening half. As the Anniston Bulldogs with outstanding field position and, Paul, enough firepower to build on their 7-0 lead and take a nice little cushion into the half.
Right, they got. I only have 1 timeout, but still, you're 1 big play away from going in 2 touchdowns up.
It just feels like that Handley's defense is just hanging in there, trying to give their offense a chance, but Anniston really dominating more than the 7-0 advantage that's on the scoreboard. Empty backfield for Sandlin as he'll face a four-man front as the quarterback keeper for Sandlin as he'll go up the middle and gets a couple of yards across the line.
Got another penalty.
And another penalty on the plays. We've seen a lot of flags so far in this quarter. Here comes Kenneth Breeding to tell us. A 5-yard face mask.
We're just going to go 5.
Yeah, 5-yard face mask.
And Breeding will officially tell us.
Incidental.
All you needed to hear the incidental face
Stand
mask.
still.
Right, they went empty that time. Quarterback draw. And 2-by-2 here.
Now Malachi Taylor will be the lone setback for protection. As under pressure is Sandlin trying to escape. Does so. Now has to get it, throw it away rather, as he does so down the near sideline. Outstanding pressure at that time.
Another pass ball is complete.
As you had the front four for Handley be able to apply that pressure and force the incomplete pass.
Third down.
So it'll be a third down and a couple coming up. Trustin Phillips helping out that time on the pressure. So the line to reach will be the 40, just shy of the 45 for the first down. Anniston Funeral Services with our second quarter coverage as we're closing in on halftime. Here's Taylor running it off the right side and will get the first down behind McElderry, as that'll be another Newalla on Noble first down for Handley. Mark your calendars for Saturday, October 22nd and Main Street, Anniston, as they present Newalla on Noble. The fun begins at 4 p.m. and lasts until 9 p.m. For more information, visit them at Newalla on Noble's Facebook page. Empty backfield for Sandlin. Pressure coming, and the fade pattern down the middle of the field, in the air, bobbled and incomplete with a flag on the play. Intended receiver was Javion Thomas. As there you see kind of that fade pattern down the middle of the field, as it looked like the outside linebacker, Tamarius Treadwell, on the coverage.
Right, yeah. Be honest, probably wasn't a bad penalty there. It looked like he was beaten. You know, you really give up 15 yards than a touchdown in that situation.
Kenneth Breeding to tell us. As Anniston will get some good field position off of the pass interference penalty. So the football now at the 25-yard line. As the Anniston Bulldogs looking to make this a 2-score lead. Shotgun. It's back to throw. Sandlin dumps it down to his receiver, complete in the running back Malachi Taylor inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. Just one timeout remaining for Rico White in the Anniston Bulldogs. As there you see that dump down pass to Taylor. As Anniston getting back to the line of scrimmage at 20 seconds remaining until halftime. Here's the snap. Looking to throw. Sandlin, and now throws over the middle, complete for the first down. And more to Thomas as he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Anniston.
And good evening, high school football fans, and welcome in to tonight's Tuesday night high school football coaches show on FNN, live from Struts Wings here in Oxford. Jim Jacobs, of course, Joe Medley to my right, to my left, James Hardy, the voice of the game of the week, as we get set to look into the crystal ball for another week of high school football. We're already up to week number 2.
Is that what it is? Okay,
Yeah.
0, 1, and 2?
Yeah, so we've had 3 weeks.
So 3 weeks, okay.
Yeah, so 3 out of 11. I mean, we're 25% home. Isn't that hard to believe?
You're good with math.
Just like that. Yeah, very good. Very well done.
You ought to see me count money.
I hope you can do that.
All right. Well, of course, we want to welcome everybody in watching on YouTube, Facebook, FNN Channel 1, and anywhere else you're watching us tonight on your Roku, your Apple TV, your Amazon Fire Stick. No matter where you have us tuned in this evening, we're glad to have you on board with us tonight as we look at another week of high school football by looking back at week number 1 and things that got our attention. And Mr. Medley, we always start with you for that.
I saw Jacksonville last week, and the thing that stood out to me was, we're used to seeing Jim Ogle and Kedrick Fisher as the pass-catch combination, but DeMonte Sinclair seems to be emerging as an equal threat on the other side, or certainly a threat that can hurt you if you pay too much attention to Kedrick Fisher, and that's intriguing going into this week, their game in Handley.
All right, Mr. Voice over here. James?
Obviously, as far as what we saw from Cherokee County, I mean, they're built to make another deep playoff run, especially if you have strong units along the line of scrimmage. To me, you always have a chance to do something special, and especially the offensive line that we saw from Cherokee County, really for that entire game, just dominate the tempo and dominate what was actually a pretty good front line. And really, in talking with Jonathan Miller last week, what he thought his front seven was, at least at this point, granted early in the season, and for Piedmont, their first regular season game on Friday, he thought that his front seven was their strength as far as Piedmont at this point of the season. And for Cherokee County really to go in and handle an experienced front line defensively for Piedmont, I thought was very impressive.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go on record with this. Nobody's beaten Cherokee County until maybe Fort Payne. Maybe.
I can very well see that.
Yeah, but Cherokee County is going to be hard to handle, and I really see them as a team. If they don't come out of the north to go to the Super 7, they'll certainly be in the game that gets you there, I think. I just don't see, looking at their schedule, I just don't see anybody else that can give them a lot of problems.
Yeah, and maybe Piedmont will be in the Super 7 because, again, history tells us when Cherokee County beats Piedmont, they both go. Well,
Piedmont's got a high hill to climb this week going over to Sylvania on the road. I know that's one of the games you're looking at. What have you heard out of that camp this week? I'm kind of curious as to, it's not very often we sit here and say Piedmont kind of got pushed around.
Well, that game, they lost that game last year.
Yeah.
And went on to do some pretty good things.
But they were in that game last year, Joe. They were not in the game this past Friday night.
Yeah, Cherokee County had to win in the last 2 minutes last year.
Well, again, I come back to what we talked about last week. Piedmont, 9 starters lost on offense.
Yep.
And you've heard my line about Jack Hayes. He counts 3, so it really should be 12 starters. And, they lost 5 on defense too. And so, it's not just the coaching change. People see, we had this coach and did that, and now we got this coach and we're not doing that. They had to replace a lot of players.
Sure.
And that's, I think that's a team to watch for in November.
Yeah, let's deal with the positives. They got a kid that can sling it around. I mean, that 62-yard pass to Ish Bethel to answer the Cherokee County score.
Thing of beauty.
That's one of the prettiest plays I've seen in high school ball in the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, that thing was on a dime.
That was a college-level throw that we saw.
It really was. And, I mean, Ish just ran right under it. It dropped right in the basket and, give him 6. So one of the prettiest plays I've seen. But as the game went on, Piedmont was not able to give the protection that they needed to throw the ball around like I think they really felt like they needed to stay in the game.
And, they lost their whole offensive line from last year.
Yep. So, I mean, it's understandable. And we've said this, Joe, on several occasions when we've talked about Piedmont. This is a team that's playing to get to November.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be okay.
But I will say this. The progress will have to be maybe a little more than we might think it has to be, because that has turned into a region that's pretty darn tough. I mean, you've got Sylvania that's looking good. Geraldine beats Fife. I mean, Westbrook Christian's going to be solid. Ohatchee's come out and they're on fire. Fourth place in that region might be hard to come by.
Yeah, it's going to be very competitive, and really there's no off nights in Class 3A Region 6 this year.
I agree.
All right, well, other things that kind of caught our attention, I think, we mentioned Ohatchee there. Let's talk about the game up on the hill where they took care of Walter Wellborn, and, again, not a typical Ohatchee performance because they were slinging it around a little bit.
They've got a quarterback who can throw it this year, and they've got a couple of athletes who can catch it as well. Colby Hester, for example, is someone that can get out there and make plays. That was – I think I remember telling you guys last week that was the hardest pick for me, just because I saw how well Wellborn did against Anniston in the first week, and maybe I gave that too much credence. But Ohatchee turned a 45-7 loss to those guys last year into a 26-7 win in 1 year's time. And, granted, Ohatchee had some injuries last year this time, but that's a heck of a turnaround. You don't often see it turn around that much in 1 year.
And what should we read into the Anniston road trip to Andalusia?
That Andalusia is really good. And, the Anniston people said this after their game with Wellborn. This is not last year's team. They lost some guys, too, and not all to graduation. Some of them went up to Huntsville with
Rico.
Mr. Rico.
Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to imagine a team with that many skill people not scoring a point.
Well, and one of them is Jaden Lewis.
Yeah, I know they had to try and get him the ball, but Andalusia just flat shut him down.
Yeah, and Andalusia obviously saw what he did against Wellborn on film, and probably came with some answers.
So. The other game I think that was interesting to me is Leeds and Pell City. Leeds got out of there with a win, but they got out by the skin of their teeth, and I'm wondering just how good Leeds might be this year.
That's an interesting question. I think also how competitive Pell City will be in Class 6A this year.
Well, they're gonna get tested in region play almost every week, as most teams in that 6A classification are. Everybody's wanting to talk about the Pell City Oxford game for obvious reasons, but we're a long way away from that yet.
Yeah, and Pell City could be better than they were last year, which I suspect they will be.
I think they are.
But
I think there's no question about that.
How much it shows in the record, again, looking at the region they're playing in is another matter.
Well, in most games Pell City played in the last couple of years, they weren't in the games. Both losses this year, they have been in the games and could have won the game, woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Against Moody and Leeds.
Yeah, two quality teams.
But lower classified teams too.
Right, Class 5A teams. But when you see Moody didn't really struggle with Sylacauga, but I'm not sure how good they are either. It's a really that 5A, what is it, Region 6?
Yes.
5A Region 6. I've kind of got questions as to how good that region is top to bottom. I thought maybe going into the season that it was going to be really loaded with Leeds and Moody at the top, and Southside with a chance to make some noise, and then Gage Naismith goes down for the season in the opening game against Hoax Bluff last Thursday. He's done with an ACL tear. Alexandria has struggled the first couple of weeks. The teams that are the ones that we normally talk about out of that region have not been overly impressive so far.
Which means it might be a more wide open race.
Exactly. A lot of parity.
Maybe I don't know about the bottom half, but the top half maybe isn't the same as it's been.
And, of course, we'll talk about some of the games that are on tap this week. There are some biggies for sure later on in the show. But first, we want to tell you about our guest lineup tonight. We've got a full house here this evening. Coach Joby Burns from the Cleburne County Tigers joins us. He's brought a couple of guys with him. Also, Michael Easley from the Munford Lions is here. He's brought a couple of his seniors. And E.J. Goss, he is the next guy in line in the running back U of Handley High School.
They don't run out of them down there.
There was Tay Meadows, then there was Jay Haynes, and now it appears it's E.J. Goss. Just 177 yards on 17 carries and 4 touchdowns last week against the number 1 team in Class 3A, defending state champs. What a night. And that has earned him our Realty Pros Player of the Week honors for this week. So we're going to get to break, and when we come back, we'll get started with one of our guests. I'm not sure where we're going to start tonight. Probably with Coach Easley. We'll get to all of that here in just a couple of minutes. When we continue from the best wings place in town, it's Struts Wings here in Oxford on the FNN Tuesday night high school football coaches show. Stay with us.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNM Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Back at Struts in Oxford, Tuesday night high school football coaches show here on FNN. Jim Jacobs, Joe Medley, and joined to my left, the head football coach of the Munford Lions, Coach Michael Easley, here to talk about his Big Red Machine. That back in my radio days, that's what it was. It was the Big Red Machine.
Oh, really?
Yes,
well,
sir.
Now
that was probably before you were born.
And now they just call us the Red Team.
The Red Team, is that it?
That's the Red. That's what they call us.
I remember a few years ago it was Respect My Munford. That was the slogan.
There you go.
All right, well, obviously you didn't start the way you wanted to. Had Childersburg at home. That didn't turn out so great. Why the open week so early? I mean, were you happy with that?
No. Originally, it was not. We had a week 1 game with Douglas and had week 5 open, which was what I wanted originally. Yeah. Then a couple of days later, Douglas called back, said, "Hey, I'm going to back out of your game." And then it basically came down to playing 9 games or playing Cherokee County week 5. I chose playing Cherokee County week 5, which I've been reminded by my coaches a couple of times. Hey, you sure that was a great idea? But no, it was good for us as far as seeing it really helped us last year. We played our best game after we played Cherokee County, and I think we talked about it then. We talked about it preseason. They were going to come out of the north, and they did. And so, as good as they were, I know it's a loss on the schedule, but it helped us improve, helped us be a playoff team last year. And hopefully it'll do the same this year.
And I'll go ahead and tell you, they're better this year than they were last year.
I think they are. I think they're going to be. I think they're going to come out of the North again. I thought that before the season started.
Yeah,
and,
I don't see, after seeing them this past week in person, I don't see anybody even playing with them until Fort Payne maybe.
Yeah, it's going to be, that's going to be a tough game for us, but I just think they're the best team in the North. They're deep. They're big up front on both sides of the ball. They got skilled players. They're well coached. I mean, you can go down the line. They check every box.
It's funny, Coach. I haven't seen many teams take on the personality of their coach as much as Cherokee County seems to. I mean, you look at them on the field, they're Jacob Kelly on the sideline.
They are. Getting to know him in the last few years, you're right. That's a good way of putting it. Very good way of putting it.
All right, well, let's talk about your team. Tell us a little bit about the Childersburg game. What went wrong and what's gotten better between then and now?
Our effort was really good. And that's one thing we knew coming in. We had a lot of inexperience. And that was the thing that, as a coaching staff, concerned us because we had a lot of inexperience and didn't think about it as much before the game, but we just kind of knew that was there. And then kids played hard the whole game. We made mistakes in game that you can't make in close games and win them. And just like I said, we made a few mistakes, and we got to eliminate those mistakes. I got to coach better. It's just a lot of stuff that played into it that we all have to do better. But it was a good learning experience. We were watching film the Monday after the game, and we're sitting in there in the weight room, and I said, raise your hand if that was your first start Friday night, or if you played like as a rotator, played in all 4 quarters for the first time as a varsity player. And I think there were 13 kids that raised their hand. And just seeing that from the coach's point of view, you're like, oh, man. Well, you see now why you make some mistakes. But we knew that going in. But, like I said, the kids played hard. Give Childersburg credit. I think y'all know me well enough. I want to be honest, but I don't want to take anything away from the other team because a lot of times the mistakes you're making sometimes
because of things they did.
Yeah, because of things they're doing. And but there were just some positions we didn't play well. That, but that part of the game, and that as a coach going in before the season, there's going to be some times where your inexperienced guys are going to play like inexperienced guys, and we had a little bit of that, and just at the wrong times, we had some unfortunate plays at the wrong time that kind of shifted the game. But at the end of the day, we got to find a way to not make those mistakes, or we got to find a way to win the game in those tight situations, and we'll learn from it. I think it was good that our kids kind of saw that, hey, we can't make those mistakes and beat a good team, So, but like I said, it was good for us, and we just, you kind of realize that when you sit back and you get everybody to raise their hand that started for the first time or played significant minutes for the first time.
Given that, did it turn out to be a blessing that you got the open date when you did?
Well, I was talking to Mike Paris last Wednesday. I do his show on Wednesday mornings, and we were talking about that, and I said, I hated the schedule when it first came out because who wants to play week 0 and then be off week 1 and go 9 straight? But it was really good for us. It allowed we had 5 days that week. We practiced 3 of them. We did film 1 of them. I let them go home after school on Friday just to kind of help with legs. We wanted to get our legs because, we're about to get in the grind where there is no getting our legs under us. So we really tried to be smart. We didn't have long practices. We went anywhere between 90 and 100, maybe 105 minutes in our practices that week just to kind of, we were still working on us. We were touching on Anniston, what little we knew about them, but we were able to get our legs up under us a little bit, I think. And that was our goal for last week. So it came at a good time. Coaches got a break because really we've been going, I guess, since we came back the Monday from July 4th. It's 4 days a week or 5 days a week since then. We really hadn't slowed down. So I think it was good for everybody to hit the reset button. But, now we're back in the grind, and we've got to use that time off wisely, and I think we did, but now we've got to apply it, and that's going to be the big thing.
What's life like without Sylvester Smith?
It's I still talk to him all the time. He calls me every couple of days, or we'll text back and forth, and it's different because he was part of that first class that I got there when they were 9th grader. Well, at the end of their 8th grade year in 9th grader, so I got to be with them. There was about 7 of them that played all 4 years for me, and so a little bit different not seeing those guys around because that's all I knew as far as my Munford tenure was those guys. There were 7 of them, and they were with me since 9th graders. And so, sometimes it'd be nice to turn around and maybe have him sitting back there, or him returning the kick, or him taking a snap or something like that. But, you miss the group as a whole because they were good kids and they did what we asked them to for 4 years. And, you know, one of the first things he told me, he sat down as a 9th grader and he said, you know, I'm going to get us back in the playoffs. And you know, that's the first thing he said when we beat White Plains last year. He came off this. I told you I was going to get us back in the playoffs. And little stuff like that, you know, you miss the kid, but we're so happy for him. And, you know, I get to keep up with him, read up on him, and we text back and forth or talk, you know, at least once a week. And so it's nice to catch up with him, and it's going to be fun following his career the next 4 or 5 years.
Who's the guy or the guys that have stepped in for him?
Well, B.J. Anderson's our starting quarterback. You know, he's a sophomore. He is lacking in experience and in just game reps, and he's a talented kid, though. You know, he was our starting point guard on the basketball team as a 9th grader last year. He was our starting second baseman on the playoff baseball team last year as a freshman. So, you know, he's got varsity experience. He's a good athlete. He's a smart kid. He's a great kid, very coachable. So what we've tried to do is we've tried to ease him into the position. I push him during practice, but we've really tried to ease him into the position and not – I don't want him to think he don't have to be Sylvester Smith for us. I just need him to be B.J. Anderson. And so we've you know, even with play calling and scheming, we've tried to take care of him and put him in good spots that he can have some success in. And but he's going to be fine. But like I said, he started for us. He's going to be our starter. He's going to be our guy, and we're going to roll him and support him.
Let's talk about the region a little bit.
Whew, let's talk about it.
You didn't want to talk about it at media day, and
Man,
you probably don't want to talk about it now.
I'm telling you what.
Is it like bloody or what?
You know, I kind of feel like it's, you know, people joke around about that when they would joke around about that 6A, 7A region a few years ago. They called it the SEC. Before they made it 7A, they called it the SEC or high school football. And you kind of feel like that when you look at 4A from top to bottom. I mean, that's what we talked about. We didn't see anything in our region, or we didn't see anything in the playoffs that we hadn't already seen in our region last year. And, you know, we went to ACA and played them really tough with about 5 starters out.
And could have won.
Could have won the game. We were up till about 1:46 to go. But I attribute that, our ability to play a good team on the road like that, because of what we did during the regular season. I mean, we saw there's nothing we hadn't seen. And so it's a deep region. I think from top to bottom it's better than it was last year. If you just look at the teams that didn't go to the playoffs, they are much better than they were last year. And I think from top to bottom, even though you look at, you know, Handley's still Handley, I think. Jacksonville, in my opinion, is better because they're more explosive on offense this year. And so you look at those. I know Anniston isn't lost a lot of seniors, but they still got some really good players. So I think from top to bottom, our region, the teams are actually better than they were last year. And I think it's going to be a dogfight every week. I don't think there's anybody you can look out there and say, hey, I think we're going to get this one this week. It's going to be a dogfight every week.
What do you see with Anniston going into this matchup this week?
Ooh, speed. You know, you've got Gavin Doss at quarterback, who I kind of followed him a little bit, got to watch some of his games when he was at Sachs, so I knew what kind of athlete he was. I watched him in track, running track meets, and just unreal how explosive that kid is. Of course, he's our quarterback, and he is still explosive. He can take it to the house every time he touches the ball. Of course, Jay Money, I mean, he's sitting back there, and he's probably, you know, watching him. We were watching some earlier footage of him, and his ability to run full speed and not be affected and get knocked off balance is amazing. He's one of the best that I've coached against in being able to accelerate to full speed, still have people have hands on him and arms on him, and him never get off balance, and he picks back up and goes, or he doesn't slow down at all. And I just think he is a touchdown waiting to happen. And so you got the Dobbins kid who, you know, transferred into him last year that just started for him as a sophomore last year. He's still really good. He's still really talented. They get them the ball, and they get them the ball in space, which is scary. So that's the big thing you see. You know, they're not as big up front as they were, but they still got some good players up front. So, you know, the biggest thing you see when you look at them immediately is you got to cut out the big play. They are, like I said, explosive, and it's not just from one spot. It's from 2 or 3 spots, really, and really 4. It's not. I mentioned those 3, but, man, they've got tailbacks that can run. They got other receivers that can run. You know, they got an H-back he's been starting for 3 years now, number 33. I can't remember his name, but he's been starting for them for 3 years. They've got speed everywhere, and that's the big thing.
And I think, Coach, you're going to catch them with a pretty good mat on this week too. I'm
going to tell you what, they ran up against a really good team. In my opinion, that may be the best team in 4A, Andalusia.
Yep.
They just ran up against them. We were watching it on NFHS the other night, and just, You know, Anderson's still a good football team, very fast football team, but Andalusia just a really good physical football team that looked like they had a lot of players that returned from last year, and that's just judging a little bit from what I remember in the state championship game. But I'm sure Anderson was not happy, you know, with the way they played, and we're gonna get their best game Friday.
How big is it to keep the ball out of Jay Money's hands when you have the ball or you're kicking the ball?
That is huge. You know, and I say that because that is huge, but they've got 2 or 3 others that can house it at any moment. So it's being selective on when we allow them to get the ball in the kicking game. It's being selective on where we attack offensively, and then it's being selective on always knowing where they're lined up when we're on defense and they're on offense, and being able to eliminate the big play. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
I would guess that coaching the kids to actually stay in their lanes is going to be real important this week.
No, you're not lying. And it's not just that. It's learning how to, you know, not just keeping leverage, but you know, you've got to still be able to close some ground and keep leverage. And because guys like him, and really all 3 of their skill guys, you can't give them an inch. If you give them an inch, if you're out of your lane 1 step or 2 steps, the band's about to strike up, because they're going to take it to the house. It's not where, you know, some teams you play, you can be out of position, and they may gain 30 yards, and we're going to turn around and play first down again. With those guys, if you get out of position or you lose leverage or whatever, they're going to the house. There's no, you know, there's no in between with them.
All right. Well, let's talk about the 2 young men you brought with you tonight.
Logan Smith and Jacob King. You know, both of them. Of course, Logan's been a 4-year player for us. He's played 9th grade through 12th grade for us. Started last year at center. Actually started a couple games as a sophomore for us. We ended up having some, I don't remember if it was injuries or COVID. I think COVID hit us real bad early in the year that year, and he had to start for us as a couple games as a sophomore. And he's actually played probably every position on the offensive line for us at some point, going back to his 10th grade year. But he's been a starting center since last year. Very talented individual. He's got, you know, really good feet. Very powerful individual. He weighs about 255, 260, but he's a 300 bencher. He's very strong, very nimble. Plays basketball for us, throws for us in track. Jacob, this is his 2nd year with us, and he's done a really good job. You know, he's one of those that he's not the most talented player on the field, but you get everything that you need to get out of him, you get from him. And that's what makes him a very effective defender. He starts at outside linebacker for us and plays a little receiver, but he's very effective at outside linebacker for us, because when he goes, he's going full speed. And that's the thing. We know when he's in coverage, or when he's blitzing or whatever he's doing, he's full speed, and he gets the absolute most out of his talent. And that's probably the best thing we like about him. And just 2 seniors. We don't have a huge senior class. We've only got about 8 guys that's played football before, and so it's a smaller, you know, kind of a smaller group. If you look at a lot of our starters are mostly juniors and sophomores starting, but these 2, like I said, these 2 guys start for us. Jacob starts on defense, Logan starts on offense, and they just do their job. They go out there and do their job. That's the best thing about it.
And that leads me to my last question before we let you get back to your great struts wings. Youth and inexperience. What makes this a good year for Munford?
We have got to grow up quickly. You know, we have got to go. We've got to get past that hump, and we talked about it after the Childersburg game. We can't look for excuses. You know, yeah, we're inexperienced. Yeah, we had a lot of guys start for the first time and play varsity minutes for the first time, but we got to move past that. You know, we can't use that as a crutch. We don't need to use that as an excuse. We've got to find a way to get better every week, and that's the thing. You know, sometimes you get better and the scoreboard don't show it. Sometimes it looks like you've gotten better because of the scoreboard and you really haven't. You know, and I was telling somebody the other day, I coached a team one time years ago as an OC, and we didn't really get better from start to finish, but nobody realized it because we were in the semifinals. We were 13-1, and we just didn't make big improvements throughout the year. And then I've been a part of some teams before that got beat the first round of the playoffs that improved every week. So for us, we've got to be able to improve every week, whether it's showing on the scoreboard or not. We got to improve every week. So when we get to that point in the schedule where this is a must-win game, this is a must-win game, this is a must-win game to get the playoffs, we can win those must-win games.
There you go. Coach Michael Easley joining us from the Munford Lions. Always a pleasure to have him here on the Tuesday Coaches Show. We're going to grab a quick break, and we'll get his seniors in here, and James will talk with them in just a couple of minutes here on FNN.
Advantage Tire and Alignment on Highway 202 in Anniston is so much more than just a new tire and rim shop. There's not enough time in this ad to tell you all the many things they can do to help keep your car in tip-top shape. Advantage Tire uses ASE certified technicians, so you know any work done is top-notch. Bottom line, if it needs repaired or replaced, they can probably do the job and save you money. And when it comes time for new or used tires and rims, Advantage Tire and Alignment prices just can't be beat. Stop in and see Bruce and the crew today. Advantage Tire and Alignment.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
And we welcome you into the FNN Coaches Show here from Struts Wings in Oxford. Always a favorite part of my week as far as the high school football season, being able to see all of y'all and to talk with our coaches and players when it comes to the high school football season, as we're just getting in really into maybe not even the teeth of the high school football season. First week of region play coming up as far as the 2023 season. And the Munford Lions actually coming off of an off week, their only off week of the season, as we have a couple of their seniors really on a young team this year, as we have Jacob King off to my left, and also one of the big ones as far as along the line of scrimmage, Logan Smith. A big thanks to both of y'all for joining us.
Thank you.
I know y'all only had one game under your belt so far this year, coming off of an off week, but just kind of describe, at least so far, how y'all think not only you as individuals, but your team, have y'all been doing so far this year? First with you, Logan.
Well, the first week we played Childersburg, and it was a very, very hot week. So we had to fight through adversity. I think it made us better. Of course, we had some ups and downs when it came to practices, but, I mean, every team has that. So, I mean, we just had to fight through that. You know, it was a tough loss, but, I mean, I don't know if Coach Easley used this word, but he said he's used it a lot. There's a bunch of newness on the team that we've had. A lot of inexperienced players, not so much lack of talent, but just lack of experience. So it's just as the season goes along, we'll get better at it. We'll mesh well better together. And, you know, we learn from our mistakes. We've tried to fix it this week and last week in practice with us having a bye week. And so, yeah, just learning from it.
And then, Jacob, really the same thing for you as far as your overall thoughts on how the season's gone for you, albeit just one game under your belts, but also for the team. And also, Logan talked about the newness as far as the team, not only as far as a lot of new faces on the roster, but also kind of describe how the chemistry has been for y'all, and I guess how that's evolving as far as the team goes.
Oh, yeah. When the summer started, you know, there were a lot of new faces in the locker room. You know, a lot of guys I'd never seen before, you know, up-and-coming freshmen, you know, sophomores that weren't on varsity the year before, you know. But as that tougher loss against Childersburg, I think it's, you know, kind of settled us down and got us ready for this week and the bye week that we just had. I think it's really got us ready for Anniston, and I think we're finally coming together as a team, and we're going to see what we can do. And then what are some of the lessons that y'all learned as far as your opening game a couple weeks ago? We definitely learned that, you know, during practice we need to step it up. You know, we need some more leaders on the team. You know, I feel like we learned that, you know, we thought that we could just go in there and, you know, we knew we played Childersburg the year before, and we had a lot of confidence. You know, we came in that game and was a tough loss. It was really tough, and we just had to battle through it. It was adversity.
And then, Logan, you and Jacob are really one of the few seniors on the roster. Has there been, I guess, especially coming into this season and now that you're into the season, any sort of, I guess, extra emphasis for not only for the coaches but for y'all individually as far as just stepping up your leadership when it comes to the team?
Yeah, there actually is, especially where the position I play, because the offensive line, the entire offensive line came back this year. We all played last year. We got 4 seniors, me at center, Ja'Cory 3 at guard, Manny Strickland at guard, Warren Smith at tackle, and Caden Mosley at tackle. So it's just 4 seniors. Caden Mosley is a sophomore, but he played every single game last year, so they expect more out of us than anybody because we have the most experience out of anybody. So it's just a matter of, and then with Jacob and the other players that we have, it's just a matter of they expect more out of us because we know what we're doing. We've been here before. We know how to handle it, handle the pressure. So it's just a matter of doing what the coaches need us to do and them expecting it out of us. So,
we got a couple of the seniors with us, and Jacob King and Logan Smith. And Logan, this is your final season as far as suiting up for the Munford Lions. Just kind of describe the journey that's, as far as your football journey, just how that's evolved for you and where you think you've grown as a football player ever since you first stepped up onto the football field.
Well, I mean, my 9th grade season, it seems like it was just yesterday. But I remember I played 6 snaps my freshman year. My sophomore year, I came in. I expected to get some playing time, but not near as much as I did. I got 1 start, and I played in about 5 or 6 games. So, and then junior season is when I was a full-time starter. The thing with that is the 8th game of the season, I broke my back. So I didn't get to experience the full season. I didn't get to experience playoffs. So I'm still yet to play in a playoff game, even though we made it last year. So, I mean, just putting in time and effort. The weight room, I put so much time and effort in the weight room this summer. The summer before, I've received 2 offers from Huntington and Birmingham Southern. So, I mean, it's kind of – it'll be sad when we play our last game, but it's not going to be as sad because I know that I'm going to be playing somewhere else after high school is over. My career is not over, and I can still leave a legacy on myself and still show the players that are up and coming that people from a small town can get somewhere. It's a D3, but get somewhere at least. We've had Sylvester Smith. He went to Auburn. A few years ago, we had Jakari Robinson. He was a center. He played at Cincinnati, Memphis, and Bowling Green, and now he's in the USFL. So, I mean, we've had a whole lot of talent come through, and it's just a matter of, I kind of want to be leave a lasting legacy on people, for my legacy here at Munford, show people you can get somewhere from a small town. You know what I mean? So.
Absolutely. So, same to you, Jacob. As far as how have you seen, at least how's that journey been for you? I guess as far as on the football field, ever since you got started first suiting up the pads.
Well, I came in my 10th grade year. I moved to Munford. And as soon as I came here, I fell in love with just how everybody, there was no really cliques. Like everybody came together on the football team and, it was like a family. It didn't feel like football. It felt like family. And I just really felt welcomed in my sophomore season and love the coaches, love the players that I was surrounded by. And with our senior class last year, we had a lot of talent and a lot of guys that taught me a lot of things and how to become a better football player. And I just think that the journey's been good, and I hope it slows down a little bit. Time's going a little fast. I'm not ready for that last suit up, but I know it's coming. But I've had a good ride.
Y'all still have quite a few games going. Hopefully for y'all some postseason games as well.
For sure.
But Jacob, describe what it's like as far as the experience when it comes to you, Logan, and the rest of the players when it comes to playing for Coach Easley.
I believe Coach Easley's he's a very great coach. He's a very passionate coach, and he just really wants the best out of every player. And he knows that he can get it out of you, and he will get it out of you. He's a very passionate coach, and he's got a fire in him, and he'll put a fire in you.
And then Logan, same question for you about Coach Easley.
So, I've been in Emma for my entire life. So he moved in when I was in 7th grade. So I've been around him for close to 5 years now, and. you kind of pick up on like somebody's sense of humor or stuff like that once you've been around them so long. So we kind of built a relationship with each other. He expects a lot out of me, one, because I'm a senior, and two, because I'm one of two players. I don't like talking about it because if it feels like I'm bragging, but I'm one of two players on the team with an offer. So I feel like he expects more out of me. And like I said, I don't like bragging about it. But, I mean, especially this year, the coaches have helped us out tremendously. We've, started getting Gatorades after practice, started getting protein shakes after practice. So they're giving us supplements a lot more than they have been. It's not really their doing. They said they've been wanting to do it for the entire time they've been here. But, it's kind of sad. Sometimes you get frustrated at coaches with them getting on to you, but it's all because they want the best out of you. It's all because Coach Easley wants the best out of you. And like Jacob said, he's a very passionate coach, and he has a fire on him, and he can really light a fire under you when you need it. So
I want to go back to something that you touched on a few minutes ago as far as Sylvester Smith, obviously one of the top individual athletes in our area last season, really the last couple of years. What was it like playing with him on the football field?
Sylvester, he pushed everybody to their limit. He tried to in the weight room. He's gotten on to me multiple times. I feel like there's a chemistry that comes with being a center and a quarterback together. So I feel like we kind of had a brotherhood because of that, because he played quarterback as well. But he pushed everybody on the field. He was very passionate about what he did, and he wanted to do it the best way possible. So he wanted to get better every single day. He was always working hard at practice. Like I said, in the weight room, it's kind of, it might not be the right word, kind of surreal to practice with somebody like that or play with somebody like that because, you don't really see people around here go to D1 level schools. So, I mean, the work ethic that he had and the attitude that he had, it definitely rubbed off on me some. And that's kind of why I've been in the weight room more, because he kind of inspired me to, do that kind of stuff. So it was pretty cool to be with him.
And then, Jacob, kind of a follow-up to that, anything to add as far as just being able to be teammates but also be able to observe Sylvester Smith's talents on the football field?
Yeah, it was insane, seeing some of the plays that man made. It was crazy to see. And as an outside linebacker, he's taught me a lot of stuff with, covering. He's a safety, and he's a really good one. And he's taught me a lot of, having just, zones and coverages and stuff like that. And I remember him, like Logan said, in the summer, we'd get done with summer workouts, and he'd be like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "We got to get work in." And I was like, "We're done." He's like, "No, we're not. Get back on the field. We're going to put some extra work in." And he's a great guy.
And then quickly, before we let y'all go, Jacob, just kind of give us an idea. Once your high school football career comes to a close, what does your life's journey look like once you walk across the graduation stage?
Well, I would like to go to JSU and study kinesiology and hope to be a physical trainer or a physical therapist.
Very good. Jacob King, Logan Smith, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
From the Munford Lions, a couple of seniors joining us, and we'll go ahead and take this time out. A whole lot more of the FNN Coaches Show coming up after this.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNM Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Griffin Laser Engraving in Lincoln is your authorized local dealer for personalized Yeti products. Get your Yeti customized. for your team, a business, or a special event. Your color, graphics, even photos. At Griffin Laser Engraving, we make it the way you want it. Order just one or hundreds, and you'll find a full line of Yeti coolers and accessories on hand, even the hard-to-find items. Nationally recognized, but right here at home in Lincoln for quality awards, trophies, powder coating, and personalized Yeti items, Griffin Laser Engraving.
All right, here we go. Trying to pull this up a little bit to you.
That better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Welcome back to Struts Wings here in Oxford as we continue with the Tuesday night high school football coaches show. Jim Jacobs here in the middle, joined on my left by Michelle Green with Realty Pros, and to my right, our Week 1 Player of the Week from Realty Pros and the Friday Night Network, E.J. Goss from the Handley Tigers. And young man, you put on a show Friday night.
Thank you.
Where'd that come from?
I've always had that.
Well, you know, I've been dying to ask you this question. You're playing on a team that has had a long line of really hot running backs. I mean, back to Tay, and then, of course, last year with Jay, and now it's your turn.
Yes,
What's it been like to sit and wait for your opportunity?
Routine. You know, there's guys that are better than me, and they did their job when they were there. So I waited my turn, and when I did get my opportunity, I went out there and I did what I was supposed to do.
4 touchdowns, 177 yards on 17 carries. The math says that's a pretty good night.
I think it's a pretty good night. I mean, it's not possible without my O-line and the guys in front of me. I can't go anywhere. So
now, I got to ask you, who's Coach Strain yelling at tonight? Because he's out coaching somewhere. Who's he yelling at tonight?
I don't know. He's probably yelling at the whole team.
Talk a little bit about Coach Strain and what it's like to play for him, because he's one of our favorite people, and we really enjoy the opportunity to get with him from time to time. It just didn't work out for tonight, but
yes,
talk about Coach Strain just a little bit.
Coach Strain, he's a guy that he likes things done the way he likes it done. He's a traditional kind of guy.
Yep.
He likes things how he wants it, and if it's not that way, I mean, he's not going for it most of the time.
He's old school, isn't he?
Old school, yes, sir.
You know, a lot of times, EJ, coaches that are like that have a hard time relating to the players, but it seems like for some reason Coach Strain's able to get in there with you guys, and it works.
Yeah, it works. He's really good at relating to the players regardless of his, traditional style of coaching. He's just funny. He relates. He knows what high school students usually go through, probably through experience and what he's done, so.
Now, talk a little bit about Jacksonville coming up this Friday. I mean, I know it's a huge game.
It is a huge game.
To be the region opener, it just doesn't get much tougher than that.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about Jacksonville and what it's going to take to be successful at home at right field on Friday.
100%. We got to give respect to their quarterback and their pass game. They're really good, really, really good. So we got to do good in the secondary and make sure we have that ready to go. I'm sure my guys have it covered. 100%. We got to keep doing what we were doing on offense, run the ball. We got to improve on our passing game. I think we'll be just fine.
Now, you know, this was the game last year that Jay stepped out.
Yes,
I mean, just went off.
Yes, sir.
What kind of inspiration does that give you?
I mean, if he can do it, you know, with the O-line he had, I have all the same guys he has.
Exactly.
They're working for me, I'm working for them. I'm going to go and do what we got to do.
All right, deal. Who's faster, you or Jay?
Oh, he's fast. He's fast, 100%.
All right, well, let me talk to Michelle just a minute here, and then we're going to hand you some hardware. Talk about the Realty Pros.
Well, what can I tell you? We're the best at what we do. We are the pros.
I like that.
We're awesome.
That's blocking and tackling there, baby.
You know, you got to confidence and arrogance are different, and I'm very confident in what I do.
Yeah.
So I do a little bit of everything. I do a little commercial, little land, some residential. Got a wide variety of agents. So any real estate needs you need, we've got you. We do a lot of education. I try not to do a whole lot of yelling, but every now and then it happens. Some of my agents are really fast at running away from me.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know, just a lot of pride in what we do. And, you know, anything you need, we're there. I love the commercial world, but we residential and land has just become huge, and trying to bring development to this area has been a huge part of what I do is try to bring more builders this way to make it better, to give more housing, more affordable housing. So,
well, obviously, real estate on the lakes is a no-brainer. I mean, the prices just keep going up and up and up and up and, all that kind of stuff. But, the area in general, I think, is exploding. I mean, the building in Lincoln right now is unbelievable.
It is. So I worked 4 of those neighborhoods, bringing one of those builders in, Smith Douglas. And now I'm actually trying to work to bring them towards Munford and that way, because it's a wonderful schools up this way. Just, the people are great. And I have found there's a lot of people that come from out of state because they love us Alabamians. And so, I can see the possibility for the growth. And, who knows, EJ may want a house in Munford in a couple of years. So we're going to make sure that house is there for him,
I think EJ's got his mind on bigger things.
I do. Well,
and we certainly hope he achieves them.
Oh, absolutely.
Talk a little bit about, everybody's crying about the interest rates right now, and obviously that's a problem.
It's a problem, but I'm going to say this. When we bought our first house 20 years ago, I think our interest rate was 6.8.
Yeah.
We got a little spoiled with that. Interest rates are, next year's an election year, unfortunately. There's going to be a change. But I will say, usually when interest rates go up, house prices come down, and there's an adjustment. There's a balance to that. So, now is not a bad time to buy. A lot of people are still buying a house. You just got to be smart with your money.
Yeah.
Just be smart with your money. And, and a lot of people saved up now. They're doing the investment thing. It's a good time to buy land. I mean, so cliche, but they don't make any more land.
Nope.
So, but the market's still going strong. So don't be scared to step out there and take that step and do it.
Well, and I think that's the important thing that people need to get from this conversation is the days of zero interest rates are over. I mean, that was an anomaly in our lifetime. And it's
Jim, how often did you see a 2% interest rate in your life?
Well, I got a 3.5 on mine right now.
Right.
I'm happy. Hey, to say it bluntly, I'm happy as hell.
Right. Well, but, my ultimate goal, I didn't get in this business to get rich. I got in this business to care about people is what I got in this business about. So, when you find that right realtor that's got the good heart and will listen to you and put you together with what you need, that's what this job's about for me.
Got you. And, of course, I think that's what's important to everybody that's in the real estate arena of either it's land or a home or a condo or no matter what you're interested in, you got to get with the right person.
You do. You've got to, and look, I have a team. It's not just me. So if I feel like I'm not a good fit for you, then I'm going to put you with somebody on my team that I feel like is a good fit for you, or vice versa. Either way, we're going to take care of you, and we're going to make sure you're taken care of.
Now, I may be stepping out on a limb here, but somebody told me that, are you coming this way? I heard that was a possibility.
That might happen. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later. Right now, I want to talk about EJ. I mean, these numbers, man, that's insane. Can you start running with me? Because I need to lose a few pounds.
I mean, if you need to, yeah.
You can't keep up with him, I promise you. But I do have something you can do for him. Let's start with this.
Absolutely. So, EJ, this is absolutely, I'm going to show this. Can we see it at home?
Mm-hmm.
So this is absolutely my pleasure to present you with Week 1 Player of the Week. And I got a feeling it may not be the last one I give him, but EJ, congratulations, and the hard work did not go unnoticed.
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
There's the box. Well, let's take it out of the box so we can hold it up here for the camera, and I'll do my best not to drop it. But that's good. That's good crystal stuff right there, young man. That'll look good wherever your mama tells you to put it.
Yes, it will. Yes, sir.
All right, tell me about your teammates you brought with you tonight, because folks that don't know this, because we don't say it enough. Normally when we invite coaches, we ask the coaches to pick the players that are going to come. But when we select a player of the week, the player gets to select his buddies that get to come with him. So who got your nod tonight?
So tonight I brought Amaje Williams. He plays linebacker and outback on the offense. And I brought number 68, which is Eli Gabriel, guard.
Yeah. So you run behind him.
Yes, sir.
Where he goes, you go.
Absolutely.
I hear you. All right. Well, listen, man, congratulations on being player of the week.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it very much, and glad that you could get out there and have a great week. And obviously it's another week to have another big one with Jacksonville coming to town for region play. Tell Coach Strain we said hello.
Yes, sir, I will.
All right, we're going to grab a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring in Coach Joby Burns and the Handley Tigers when we continue here on the Tuesday night high school football coaches show on FNN.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to the Tuesday night high school football coaches show here on FNN. Joe Medley rejoins me, and of course to my left, the head football coach of the Cleburne County Tigers. It's hard for me to stop calling them the Handley Tigers. I'll tell you a story about that in a minute. But Coach Joby Burns here with us, and let's get started. Let's talk about the season so far.
Yes, sir. We had a good win Friday night.
Yeah.
So it was good to get out and get going. Started to play the Jamboree against Clay Central the week before, and some good competition there. And then Friday night went to Northside, and we didn't play very well the first quarter and a half, but we sort of turned it around and got a big win. And it was good for our kids, and hopefully it'll be something to springboard us on into the rest of the season.
Kyler moved to Georgia. Your offensive coordinator is now Weaver's head coach. But it sounds to me that there were some off-season changes that is especially on the offensive side of the ball that really play well for you guys.
Well, yes. I mean, we hired Justin Taylor as our offensive coordinator. We've gone back more to a wing T. Coach Jake Mayfield's gone more on the offensive side of the ball for us as well with our backfield, and just that suits our personnel a little bit better right now, and those guys are doing a good job, and it's just something that we felt like we needed to do for our personnel, and so whatever's best is what we're going to do.
Coach, talk a little bit about facilities over at L.E. Bell Field, because that was always a special place before the stuff that's been done, but there's been some tremendous things done over there in the last couple of years.
Right. Well, I don't think there's any facilities any better around here, to be honest with you. It's a beautiful place. Matter of fact, I just got a text. The guy sent me on a drone, just took a picture of the stadium at night, and just right before I came up here. But, I got the turf. It's beautiful. It's just, got a nice track around it. We've got, which we haven't used them yet because we haven't had a home game, but we got new LED lights this year, getting a new sound system coming in, and just, you can't ask for much better. I mean, it's as good as it is around, and we're very proud of what we've got.
Experienced football team this year. Is it 20 seniors? Is that right?
We do. We have 20 seniors.
What a luxury is that, and how much is that playing out for you so far?
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, a lot of them have played a good bit, and so it is, but we're having to play a lot of guys both ways. So these guys are, they're having to take on a little bit more where, we got a few that may have been defensive starters, but now they're starting on the offensive side as well. But they work hard. They provided great leadership. This has been one of the best off seasons that I've been a part of, from the end of the season last year to now through summer. These guys work hard, And I just can't wait to see what they're going to do because I know they're going to do some special things, and they're good kids. And like I said, their work ethics is great. Our coaches have spent a lot of time pouring into them, and we're just we're blessed right now to have these guys, and we can't wait to see what they do.
Coach, is there a bigger test than 4A Region 4?
No, probably not. Probably not. Yeah, it's loaded. It's good football all throughout the region. There's not a weak team in it. Probably the best region top to bottom in the state. And it's like I told these guys, we've got to find a way to get over that hump and get in one of those top 4 spots and make it in the playoffs because when we go through the season that we're going to have and the people that we're going to play, we're going to, when we get in there, we're going to be more than prepared to compete.
Yeah, anybody that draws a 4A Region 4 4th seed might get their feelings hurt.
Good, yeah, very well.
Yeah. Obviously Handley's Handley, Jacksonville's Jacksonville, but there's a sense that I hear talking to people that there may be 4 other teams that have a chance to get those other 2 spots this year. Hey, how wide open is that middle there, you think, this year?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think it is. I mean, that definitely you got Handley and, and Jacksonville and Munford and Anniston. I mean, Talladega, White Plains. I mean, we've got to find a way to get in there and, be one of those 4 teams. So, yeah, it is. Top to bottom, it's going to be as good as anybody in the state. And our whole region around here is good, not just our region, but this whole area of football, And so, you want to be mentioned in that, and that's what I tell our kids right there that, we want to put ourselves in that position to be mentioned with all these teams that make deep runs and that, do things special and, in the playoffs, and that's what it's all about.
Coach, talk about Jake a little bit and what he's been through and what kind of football player he is.
Well, he's a really good football player. He had shoulder surgery last year.
Right.
So he missed about the last, 3 or 4 games, missed a few games leading up to it, came back, played a few games, and then it just got to the point that we needed to get it fixed. Was a very good linebacker, middle linebacker for us, and leader of our defense. But then, now he's having to move over, play fullback on offense, and he does a good job there. And, yeah, he's just a very valuable member to our football team. He works extremely hard in the weight room and just provides great leadership. And, yeah, you just couldn't ask for anything better.
It was, 2015 was the last time that Cleburne County went to the playoffs. How much is everybody mindful of that? How much is that kind of out there as a goal this year?
Well, it is. I mean, it's that's always a goal. So that's what I told these guys right here. They want to be the guys. I want them to be the guys to get us back on top right there, to get us back in the hunt right there. And it's something that these guys have. Like I said, I couldn't ask for a better group of kids right there, and they deserve that. And but still, that being said, they got to go out and they got to take it, and they've got to earn it. And like I said, I can't wait to watch them do it. But yeah, I mean, we do talk about it, and that'll be something that they leave with, and something nobody can ever take away from you.
Coach, schedules, especially in a region like this, it means a lot as to who you play when and where you play them. To me, in this type of scenario, you got to win the games you're supposed to win, and that's your home games for sure.
Right, no doubt. And we've got, sitting there, I can't really think.
Joe's probably got it up over here.
I can't think much past this week, to be honest with you, because this week right now, like I said, this is a huge week for us. With our first one this week at Talladega, we got to get that one to start with. And I'll be honest with you, we just really take it week to week. I know we got Anniston at home, White Plains at home,
Munford's at home.
So yeah, you definitely want to do your best to win those at home. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, we're just worried about Friday night right now. To be honest, I hadn't thought a whole lot past that.
You and Bill Smith.
Yeah, I hadn't thought a whole lots, past that.
You mentioned Justin earlier. What kind of asset is he, not just from an offensive standpoint, but just from the standpoint of being somebody who was played in that program when it was a deep run kind of playoff team, and what does he bring to it, and far as in as far as selling that.
Well, yeah, he has a lot of pride in this place, as our other coaches do. We got a lot of coaches that played there, that were part of good teams. But Justin does, he's a good, very good coach, very good offensive coordinator, very well prepared each and every day. He handles a lot of things for me. But yeah, he has a lot of pride in the place, and that's definitely a big thing. Not me not being from there, but it doesn't matter whether I'm there or not. I want us to win and do things. But yeah, these guys that are from there, that it's very special to them, and yeah, they want to get us back on top, because they love the place, and it's a special place, and they know about it, just like you said, because they've been there and done that.
Of course, your Clay County background, you know a little something about winning, though, right?
I've been very fortunate, to be where I've been. Yes, sir.
Coach, talk about the community a little bit over there. I mean, you kind of alluded to it just a little bit, but, I mean, there's not many places you're going to go where you're going to find facilities as fine as yours.
No, sir, you're not. And our community, our fans, our parents, our administration, I mean, everything is top notch. I mean, sometimes I think they spoil our kids, because they do. They take care of them. I mean, we've got, we'll put it out there. We need snacks, and we need water, and we need this. And you come in the next day, and
there's a dump truck outside.
It is there, and just anytime. Our city's great. They take care of everything we need, and we are spoiled to have such a big support, and so that's another thing. We want to, they deserve a winner. They deserve somebody to get back, something they can be proud of, and it can't get it's not any better. Like I said, I've been fortunate to be some great places, and this is right up there with it.
Absolutely. Well, of course, and your principal is one of my favorite people.
Yes, sir.
Ron is good folks.
Coach Irvin's a good one.
Yes, sir. He sure is.
He does a good job, and he supports us, and he's always there and just does anything we need. He rode with us to the game the other night, and it was great having him on the bus with us, and he does a great job.
Yeah, I told him last time I talked to him, I said, now, look, I don't want no big head because you're a principal. I remember you when you was a softball coach.
Yes.
And he coached his daughter, who was a very good player. This matchup this week with Talladega, what do you see there?
Well, they're athletic, big offensive line, big defensive line, fast. I mean, and we're not very fast, so we're definitely going to have to do a good job and be in the right places, because they've got speed and ability to. Yeah, they could score anytime that we have a breakdown, or they just make a good play. So yeah, they're very athletic, and yeah, it's going to be a tough game, and we're going to have to do. We're going to have to be ready to play. I just promise you that.
Coach, tell us a little bit about the two young men you brought with you tonight. Of course, I mentioned Jake earlier, but you brought a couple.
I did. I brought, of course, Jake Dingler, which we talked about, but Nate Adams. Nate is that guy. He's the glue, to be honest with you. He is a great leader. He does, he just does things the right way. They both play middle linebacker, both play fullback. Nate plays a little bit of halfback, and Nate. I'll just give you a great example. When things were going bad the other night, Nate actually he moved and got a false start penalty. And I told the team the other day, this kind of kid Nate is. He didn't pout about it or anything. The next play, he goes and absolutely blows up the middle linebacker. Just really on just about a 3 or 4 yard run, but just his effort and just the way he attacks things. So these two they're definitely two of our biggest leaders, and I'm super proud of both of them, and they're going to be very successful in the future, whatever they do.
Well, Coach, thanks a lot for coming over and joining us tonight. We're looking forward to seeing you when you play Munford here in a few weeks for the game of the week. It's been a while since we've been over there, and certainly haven't been there since all the improvements have been made and all those nice LED lights. We're looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Just hope we get to use them.
We're counting on it. All right, that's going to do it for this segment of the show. When we come back, we'll get the couple of guys in from Cleburne County, and James will speak with them, and then we'll put the finishing touches on another week here on the Friday Night Network, Tuesday night high school football coaches show. Stay with us.
Advantage Tire and Alignment on Highway 202 in Anniston is so much more than just a new tire and rim shop. There's not enough time in this ad to tell you all the many things they can do to help keep your car in tip-top shape. Advantage Tire uses ASE certified technicians, so you know any work done is top-notch. Bottom line, if it needs repaired or replaced, they can probably do the job and save you money. And when it comes time for new or used tires and rims, Advantage Tire and Alignment prices just can't be beat. Stop in and see Bruce and the crew today. Advantage Tire and Alignment.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNM Spirit Debit Card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Finish line almost in sight as far as tonight's edition of the FNN Coaches Show from Struts Wings in Oxford, as it's been pretty much a full show so far this evening from Struts Wings. James Hardy with you once again as we're featuring a couple of Cleburne County stars here in the 2023 season, as we have Nate Adams off to my left, and then off to my right is Jake Dingler, a couple of seniors for Cleburne County. First off, a big thanks for both of you for joining us.
Appreciate you having us.
Appreciate it.
And then let's start with you, Nate, as far as y'all started your season last week, this past Friday night, went on the road, actually went back to pretty much my hometown as far as Tuscaloosa, a little bit just north of Tuscaloosa, and got a really nice win at Northside. Just kind of describe getting the season off started on the right foot.
Yes, sir. The first half, we came out a little slow, but then we turned it around the second half and had a comeback win. And just kind of a playoff-type game, traveling that far. It was a really nice win.
And then I remember Northside's actually been a pretty solid program in Tuscaloosa and Tuscaloosa County the last few seasons. Just describe going on the road, especially to open up the season and be able to get your first W under your belt.
So we got some charter buses, and we just traveled to Hillcrest High School. And we practiced in their indoor facility, and then we just got on the bus again and went north-side. It was about 2.5 hours.
And then just kind of describe as far as how the preseason's been for y'all, and then I guess what also y'all want to, first with you, Jake, what y'all want to be able to accomplish, not only as a team, but as far as any individual accomplishments that you have for the year.
Our preseason, we'd just get up early in the morning, go work out and condition and do some practice. And, I mean, we just practice a lot and work out. And then some goals for me is just try to make it to college and with football.
Very good. And, Nate, the same for you. Just kind of describe how the preseason went for you, and also some of the team and individual goals that y'all have and that you have for this season.
Right. Well, as far as the preseason, we've been working since last football season ended, just getting in the weight room, getting in shape, a lot of speed work. And then we worked hard all summer out there early. And then this season, obviously, the end goal is a state championship, but we've just really been taking it day by day, trying to get a little bit better every day. And then, of course, the end goal, we want to get to that state championship.
And then, Nate, I want to follow up with you as far as last week's win, and especially with your region schedule coming up this Friday, at least the start of region play. How big was it for y'all, especially going on the road at a quality opponent, to get a W to open the season?
Mm-hmm. Well, we've got a lot of some young guys playing that haven't played before, so just getting that first game jitters out, getting them comfortable with what we're doing was a big part of it.
And then you're a senior as well as Nate is, kind of, especially with having a younger team this year. How important is it as far as your role and also Nate's role as far as the leadership role in this year's team?
Just help them out in any way we can and just try to lead them as the best we can and tell them what to do if they don't know what to do, and just tell them everything.
And then obviously region play for y'all begins Friday night at Talladega. Looking forward to getting that portion of your team's journey this season started.
Sir?
As far as for the region play, as far as for your upcoming region opener, looking forward to getting that started?
Oh, yes, sir, we are. We're focused and ready to go.
And then as far as for both of y'all, first for you, Nate, with this being your last season as far as playing high school football, what are kind of your thoughts as far as just when it comes to the season for each and every game that you play, just kind of suiting up for that final year for Cleburne County?
Yes, sir. We're just focusing on leaving it all out there on the field and working hard so that we have no regrets after the season's over.
And then same for you, Jake, as far as just any thoughts you have as far as playing your final season for Cleburne County?
Just leave it all out on the field.
Fair enough. And then before we go, I certainly want to certainly ask this when we had the couple of Munford seniors that we had on for tonight. As far as first for you, Jake, when it comes to kind of describe as far as your life journey, what you have in mind once you get done with your playing days at Cleburne County, and also once you walk across the graduation stage in the spring.
My goal right now is just trying to go play college somewhere. So, I mean, I'm just focusing on that right now.
And then same question for you. Just what does your life journey look like for you, Nate, as far as once you're done playing football for Cleburne County and once you get across the graduation stage in the spring?
Right. After football season, I'll move into basketball and baseball, and I'll do just the same process there, trying to leave it all out on that field. And then I want to try to graduate top of the class, and I want to go to college and study exercise science.
Okay. So do you have any college in mind?
Probably either JSU, Alabama, or Stanford.
Okay, very good. So for both of y'all, and we'll end it on this question as far as what has football, especially being able to suit up and play for Cleburne County, meant to y'all? First, starting with you, Nate.
It's just built a lot of character and leadership in me, and then just seeing the community around us just help us out. It's just really shown like the hometown spirit that I want to keep going around here.
And then same for you, Jake, as far as just what has being the sport of football and being able to play football for Cleburne County meant to you?
It means a lot. Like, everybody at Cleburne County is behind us, and they push us, and just it means a lot.
So we have a couple of our seniors joining us in Jake Dingler, and also off to my left in Nate Adams. Certainly a big thanks for both of you for joining us, and good luck during the 2023 season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And we'll wrap it up as far as this week's edition of the FNN Coaches Show after this.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNM Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Boy, 90 minutes flies by when you have great guests like these kids and coaches from our area high schools. We want to again thank Coach Michael Easley from Munford, Coach Joby Burns from Cleburne County, and, of course, E.J. Goss from down at Handley as our Player of the Week from Realty Pros, and Michelle Green for coming in to actually make the presentation tonight. It's always good to have the sponsors in the house.
Absolutely.
Indeed. All right, guys, well, let's talk about what's on tap this week. Which game you want to start with, Mr. Medley?
There's two really consequential games that are going to happen outside of the county, but involving our teams this week: Jacksonville and Handley, and Piedmont, Sylvania. And there are a lot of other good games too, but those two are the most consequential, I think.
To me, the most intriguing game, the game I think I'd probably go see if I wasn't going to be where we are Friday night. For the matchup between Hoax Bluff and Glencoe, is this matchup between Ohatchee and Westbrook. I mean, there's just so many unknowns there that could play out in that game, and it's a game that really is going to matter in that region.
It's a picker's nightmare. Not a very good week last week.
Well, if you got to pick the game, I think you got to they're just so solid there and so much support there. But to be the man for years, Steve Smith's been a man.
We've certainly seen that the last 15 years as far as Piedmont was concerned. But Ohatchee had their fair share of luck as far as them being able to topple some of the Steve Smith Piedmont Bulldogs in prior years. So
probably more so than most if you really want to get down to it.
Yeah, and it helped having Eli Ennis.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, and Dominique Thomas and several others, of course, as part of the Ohatchee lineup. The Jacksonville-Handley game, to me, I think is going to come down to what Handley can do with Jim Ogle and that bunch of quality wide receivers that Clint Smith's going to take down there for this matchup. I mean, can Handley stop them from throwing it all over the field?
And that's pressure is the thing that could get them there. You have Jacksonville, an all new offensive line, which to this point this year has played well, but Handley has all their front seven back, and or at least their defensive line. So that's going to be a matchup to watch, I think. And of course, Handley has that offensive line, which is the reason why EJ looks a lot like Jay Haynes this year.
and maybe for Handley, their best defense is keeping their offense on the field.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a great point, James, is, if you can get in there and get one of those 15, 18-play drives and, keep Jim Ogle cold over on the sideline, that'll go a long way.
Another matchup that you mentioned, that Handley is inexperienced on the back end.
Yes.
And we talked about before, not only do you have Kedrick Fisher to worry about this year, but DeMonte Sinclair is really coming through as another threat. I think it was 194 and 189 yards receiving between the two, that they split last week. That I thought that was really intriguing.
Bottom line, they can hurt you on both sides, both ends of the offensive line there with both those guys. And, Jim Ogle can make all the throws. I mean, if he's got time, Handley's in trouble.
And that's such an advantage in high school because the quarterback that can make all the throws to all layers of the field is so rare on the high school level.
And I think if Larry Strain was here with us and we asked him, what he was concerned about, he would probably say his defensive secondary. I mean, that's the area where I think they got hurt by graduation a little bit.
And what was the 55-42 last year?
Yeah, track meet.
Final
That's right.
score. So it wasn't like Jacksonville's offense didn't show up.
Let's talk a little bit about our matchup over in Hoax Bluff this Friday, Glencoe and Hoax Bluff. For folks that don't know, this is the Hatfields and the McCoys of Etowah County. I mean, these two don't like one another. I mean, this is a rivalry game in every sense of the word.
And very close rivalry, kind of on opposite sides of 411 there,
Mm-hmm.
or 278.
Yeah, 278. And I mean, there's just not a lot of love lost between the two. Hoax Bluff has won the last 7, I believe it was. Before that, Glencoe won 7, I think, in a row. I think Glencoe has the edge on the series just a little bit by a few games, but. You talking about some head knocking. You're going to see it through our camera lenses on Friday night when these two hook up at Mike Robertson Field.
And keep in mind, it is a region game, the first region week of the season all across the state of Alabama. So for both of these teams, this is a critical game as far as their region schedule for the rest of the year.
Hoax Bluff obviously had Southside the first week. They played up. Glencoe had Weaver the first week. We see how much the competition level in the week before plays into how they play on the field this Friday night.
And everybody says that most football teams, especially at the high school level, improve the most between week 1 and week 2.
Yeah, and what about year 1 and year 2? The thing I'm interested to see with Glencoe, is
how much
having progressed in Scott Martin's offense and how far along they are that way.
Well, we're going to find out. That's the game of the week this Friday. Countdown to kickoffs at 6:30. And, of course, we've got a great lineup of programming to get you there. Starting Thursday night, we'll have the Road to the Blue Map with the Average Joe's guys. That's usually on around 7 o'clock. We've got coaches' shows leading up to that. We have Average Joe sitting down with Oxford, Anniston, Cherokee County. We've also got Jake Gaines from over in Moody that we show. So all of those coming up this Thursday night, and then Friday, of course, the replay of the game from this past Friday, the replay of this show, and then, of course, at 6:30, the cameras go live, and we get serious up at Hoax Bluff.
Absolutely. Certainly looking forward to it.
All right. Well, you haven't decided where you're going yet, right?
I'm still. It's a tough call on this one.
We're going to flip a coin or what?
It may come down to that. I might be a better picker if I did that.
And just so you know, Joe's 2 choices are
either Jacksonville, Handley, or Piedmont, Sylvania.
Both of them huge games.
It could determine region championships.
Absolutely. Well, listen, that's going to just about wrap it up for us tonight. We want to, again, thank all of our guests, especially our host here at Struts of Oxford. Delicious wings served to everybody who came in, and our crew as well. We certainly appreciate Adam and his crew here at Struts taking care of us for the 5th season in a row at Struts Wings in Oxford. Best wings around, I guarantee it. For James Hardy, for my man Joe Medley over here at East Alabama Sports Today, I'm Jim Jacobs. We'll see you at 6:30 Friday night from Mike Robertson Field in Hoax Bluff for the game of the week.